Trailblazer LT all-wheel drive, just $189 a month for 36 months. No kilometers, convince 10,000 per year. $500 cash and trade equity plus
Boom, boom, boom.
Yo, Mr. No Sauce.
Boom, boom, boom.
Gay. Oh, yeah.
Plus EV special. Whatever brand of vehicle you're driving, trust it to our Chevy certified service department. See how easy it is to do business with us. Together, let's drive.
I gotta give my son his shout out for his moving up ceremony. I couldn't get to it last year.
PCB.
Oh, I don't like that camera angle. I can't see
Which
me.
one? You can't see you? Oh, you're not using this one?
No. All right, we are back. Another week of your weekly dose of common sense with myself, B. Jose P.O., my co-host, Lavelle Lewis. Of course, we got Dr. Bob and Bobby D on the ones and twos back here. Let's jump into what's been going on past couple of days. Here we got former President Obama, which you might say current President Obama, but I'll say former, called on digital influencers to use their massive online audiences on TikTok, Instagram, and other social media platforms to help President Biden win his re-election campaign, despite any political differences they may have. The former president, whom Biden served under as vice president, told influencers they might not agree entirely with Biden's policies, but to get on board anyway. Quote, Joe Biden, you may not agree with everything he does, Obama said at a campaign fundraiser for Biden in LA on Saturday. By the way, you didn't agree with everything I did, and that's okay, because in a big, messy, complicated country like this, there are going to be disagreements. Now, this is the thing here. When it comes to political campaigns using social media to push their message, there are a lot of rules that go along with that. You have to put in that political campaign paid for by whatever group it is. So let's say Sadwick for Congress, paid for by Sadwick for Congress, or I'm Greg Sadwick and I approve this message. When you skirt those laws by going to influencers who then can say whatever they want without telling people, hey, President Biden paid me to say this, or President Biden paid me to be more positive about his messaging, I feel that that is completely against the law, and or at least it should be completely against the law, because we can't do that when we run for any political office. What are your thoughts on using, these influencers? I hate that word, but using influencers to skirt the entire system, or using them in general.
It's BS. And anytime I hear Nobama speak, that's what I call him, Barack Nobama, because that's what everybody should say to him. It's just another way that the far left finds, their way to manipulate the law and just do whatever the heck they want to do.
Especially with social media.
Especially with social media, right.
They've broken every law.
Then they bring them all into the White House, and they all took pictures with these liberal, influencers. It's kind of like what the propaganda that the state of Israel is doing as well, and that's why they want to ban TikTok, because it doesn't work.
Well, here's the problem. There's been some and I freaking hate that word, influencers. There's been some people on social media that I would listen to, like on TikTok, because they seemed like they were more, I would say, libertarian, more along the lines of, I don't like governments. And then I see them in the picture at the White House, and I hear their whole thing change. Now they're talking about things that are more against Trump and more for Biden. Now that, to me, that's what I hate, because I can see it, but there's a lot of people out there that have no idea about what's going on behind the scenes. They have no idea that the White House is bringing in influencers to talk to them about what messaging they should have.
Yeah.
And these younger generation who are, turning 18 and going to be voting, they're just, I listened to this guy and he feels this way. So, I mean, there's got to be something good coming out of Joe Biden.
Yeah. And it's funny that the messenger is Barack Obama, who signed a bill not too long ago that allowed propaganda to just infiltrate our media airwaves and, just manipulate the people's mind legally.
Yeah, legally. We've been sold out. Our country has been sold out.
Yes. And Obama is the biggest. Okay, black people who love Obama through and through. I don't think they're listening to the show. But if you just so happens to catch this spinning through the dials of FM or AM radio, and you're listening to this voice right now, Barack Obama is the biggest sellout of all sellouts in the history of sellouts.
Dang.
Yes, 100%. He is the wolf in sheep's clothing. Back when I was supporting him, when I thought it was so cool because he came up, man, the speeches he was giving, the swag that he had, when he was
still has.
He doesn't.
Still has. The dude can shoot a three-pointer.
The dad pants when he threw out that first pitch for the White Sox game was just terrible. He should literally just retire.
Was he wearing New Balances?
Yes, he was. He had the full dad, like old 60-year-old grandpa starter kit.
I mean, he is.
He does. He's not a grandpa.
Yeah, he's not a grandpa.
He's not a grandpa.
Can you imagine dating his daughters? Would you date one of his daughters?
You should say alleged daughters.
Fine, alleged daughters.
There is a conspiracy on that.
Yes.
Because we don't know if he's with a man or a woman. Michael. We have no idea who Michael is, but he seems to slip up and mention Michael's name a lot.
He used to. Maybe in his older age.
No, he still does it. He still does it. He loves Michael, obviously.
He loves Michael. Most black people love Michael. Michael out there.
The Michael. 3 Michaels. Jordan, Jackson, and Tyson.
Tyson, that's right.
That's it. But just speaking to Obama and his BS that he continues to just manipulate black people. The last show with Peter, we played the Ballad or Bullet of Malcolm X, and he talked about how the liberal is the most deceitful.
White liberal.
But now it's the black liberal
that
is the most deceitful because they keep peddling that civil rights. You keep the black people into this low vibrational level of, I'm still a slave. I'm still being oppressed. There is the system that is systematically creating this inequality, inequitable, non-opportunist country for us. Obama is the leader of that, and there is no form of inspiration behind his leadership. Just sit back and just admire the fact that, oh yeah, we got my first black president. Oh, he comes and he just shakes everybody's hand. He loves Jay-Z. That is just the biggest selling out of any political leader in the history of politics, Barack Obama.
Okay, you put the caveat political leader. Okay, yes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The Juneteenth was just passed. Did you celebrate it?
It didn't pass. It did not pass. It's June 19th. That's the date.
Oh, it's not even here yet? Oh, they already celebrated and everything.
It was the weekend. You gotta celebrate during the weekend. You gotta reserve MLK Park. Everybody's gotta come together and just pay respect to. This is why I hate Juneteenth. We had so many intelligent, wealthy, very important black leaders in 1860, in 1868. Frederick Douglass was a part of the Emancipation Proclamation. He literally gave his insight on what the government should do. And yet, the Emancipation Proclamation, which came to fruition January of 1868, June 19th is 5 months afterwards.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, there were individuals who did not listen to their black brothers and sisters who were asking them, why are you still working on this plantation, bro? We're free.
You think that's what happened? They knew about it and they were still doing it?
Okay. That is exactly what happened.
Are you revising history or did they?
I am revising the true story of what happened in Texas, to where these folks on this plantation literally ignored their brethren, trying to get them off the. It's kind of like today. The mental plantation. Anytime I try and tell folks like this, I don't care if you don't like the Republican Party, but why are you voting Democrat? Why are you still on that plantation?
When they talk about that kind of stuff where they're, government, whatever atrocities, I ask them, who controls your life? Who controls your life? And they'll inevitably say themselves, I'm like, okay, so then if you control your life, then you have no master over you.
Yeah.
So then are atrocities still happening to you? Is racism, this boogeyman, still holding you back? Is this, the developers of the world raising their rents to destroy your life? Or are you in control of your life and you can go get a better job or move in with a roommate or move back with your parents? They never have an answer for that though.
Victimized mentality.
It's all victimized mentality. And they just keep pushing this. And that's what, in my opinion, Juneteenth continues to push. And that's why I refuse to let Greg go to any Juneteenth event.
That. Yes. Good
Refuse
job.
to let him.
Political campaign manager.
That's what I do. I do what I does. 346-3000. You give us a call. You give us your insight on President Obama or Juneteenth. Would you go to a Juneteenth event or did you have your own Juneteenth event? WYSL station here with the politically correcting boys. We'll be right back after this.
Can we bump out with one of the three Michaels?
Hey, please let me show you. Good one. You knew that was coming up. Please let me show you. Let me show you. That's one of my favorite Jacksons. So who is better, the Jackson 5 or the Jacksons?
Jackson 5.
Jackson 5 is no.
Oh yeah.
Because because they got the Jacksons got Heartbreak Hotel. They got that one.
Yeah, but they lost the flavor.
They got Wanna Be Where You Are is Jackson. They didn't lose the flavor. They just lost Jermaine. Jermaine wanted to be Michael.
I know, but yeah, but you know that once you made it, you lose some of your edge.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
That's true, but
We gotta fix this camera. I don't like that camera angle at all. Motherfucker, this whole shit.
Please let me show you. Let me show you. Can you go higher?
I'm gonna go over here.
Let me show you.
I can't.
Follow me.
Nope, that ain't gonna work.
Our middle school girls program will be starting in a second.
Let me show you. Yo, look at this fucking dude. Did you see this? Gia. Yo, did you see this fucking dude? You see this
Yeah, with this freaking burger that ain't even done yet.
dumbass? Did you see, Bob? Do you make your burgers this way?
For the last couple of years, Joe Robach has been telling you about Flower City Collision in Henrietta. Along with the Sunset.
Make them out. Oh, is that Chuckles?
That's Chuck. That's Chucky boy throwing cheese on a raw burger. Burger
That doesn't
even.
surprise me.
Yeah, burger didn't
Wasn't there
even.
somebody
cook.
else that didn't Hochul pose at a grill too?
Oh, I didn't even see her.
Yeah, and she's wearing like a white shift dress.
Oh my gosh.
You want to take him in here?
What's Keith gonna say?
It's gonna be some stuff you're gonna see that's gonna make it hard.
All right, we are back. Lavelle Lewis, myself, the Jose Pio. We're gonna have our callers come in. We got Keith on the line. Keith, how you doing, brother? Hi, Keith. You're still celebrating Juneteenth, or what are you doing?
Wow, that's cool.
Nice. I'll figure.
can't hear the callers on.
And bringing dispirited groups like African Americans, even with their quasi power in our country, with their smaller numbers, whether Jewish Americans think Republicans are fascist or whatever. This Jewish couple just 2 days ago, they're still voting Biden for all of the crap that the Democrats with Hamas and all the anti-Semitism on the campuses. Until Republicans and conservatives are able to reach these groups, black females probably more so, and more so than black males. But it goes on and on. We are not bringing these people on board. I know the conservatives are saying, "Whoopee, Trump is getting blacks and Hispanics to vote for him in numbers not seen before." That may be true. But my final prediction is that not great numbers of blacks and Hispanics will be voting for Trump. Some will, if you can get a certain amount, but it's still going to be marginal. And unfortunately, the race in November could still be quite close. Thank you for listening for what it's worth. Bye.
Thank you, Keith. We got a second caller, Charles. Charles, you there?
Hello, Charles.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
What you got for us, brother?
Hey, let me turn my radio down.
Yeah, that's going to confuse you.
Charles. Okay. I am a third generation black Republican.
I was about to say, you sound black. That's you stood out like a sore thumb, Charles.
Well, I graduated from HBCU, Fisk University, and one of my W.E.B. Du Bois, and of course he was a Republican. And a lot of people don't understand that party started in Wisconsin, in that small town, but they were the original emancipators. And what a lot of people, especially the Americans, don't understand is that we have traditional values: church, less taxes, self-providing, education, strong family, strong defense, pay your taxes, education, things of that nature. And the Dixiecrats are the ones that really will screw us over. Now, the narrative has changed over the years, and when I say I'm a conservative, that's different than some other crowds. I don't want to really ruffle anybody, but what I was taught, and what my father taught me, is that you vote for people that are doing worse than you are. And fortunately for us, Father passed a while ago. He was a doctor, and we lived in all types of places. And one thing I learned is that when it comes down to it, everybody loves their children, want to do well for God and the Holy One. And when you get into politics and things like that, that's fine. But a lot of times you vote for the man, not the party. And what I've learned is that vested interest and campaign finance and just federal politics gets squeaky. So we are on the local level. The group I work for, and I'm a fundraising chairman for, is Urban Conservatives of Western New York. And I think there's about 2 of us in the whole organization. That's myself and my son. But I just wanted to comment and let you know that there are a lot of African Americans out there that identify with
Conservative values, right? Yeah. Let me ask you, Charles, real quick. Did you listen to the show earlier or any of our previous shows where we spoke about the Black Republican Club of Rochester?
I did a little bit of in and out because I work from home, but I've listened to you guys for about a month straight, and I pretty much like your dialogue and your conversation. But I've been catching a little bit more. Continue though.
Well, thank you for supporting us, and I would love to ask you if you could look into the Black Republican Club of Rochester, because we need people like yourself who've been a Republican for quite some time to be a part of our club, because it is important that we do continue the effort to educate and kind of align with people like yourself to kind of organize and continue to educate Black people on the simple fact that, I mean, you can trace just the whole ideology of being free as a free individual to, you know, African itself. Like, you know, being free is your inalienable right given to you by God. And our people think they think that the government is their God at this point. The government is the one that is going to grant them permission to do X, Y, and Z, and that's not the case. So, you know, everything you said, I appreciate it. You can, the Black Republican Club of Rochester on Facebook. I don't know if Bob can get your info afterwards. I would definitely like to extend an invite to our next meeting and, you know, see if you want to come be a part of the club.
Just mention one more thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I tend to I build with values of Colin Powell, Condoleezza, J.C. Roth, Greg Anthony, Shaquille O'Neal. There's lots of Thurgood Marshall. They're all GOP people. And what I was going to say is, and I'll leave you guys with this: the worst thing you can say here is someone saying, "At your door and say, yeah, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you." That's what Ronald Reagan had once said.
Yeah, I said that in the last show earlier.
Nine most alarming words in the English language. Hey, Charles, we're going to hang up here, but call right back if you would. I can't put you on hold in the studio and get your information, but call right back the same number and give Bob D your info for Lavelle.
You guys are great. I listen to your show every day.
I appreciate you, Charles. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Charles.
Make sure you tell your friends and family too, because we are growing pretty quickly. We actually just got picked up recently by another website that's going to be airing our shows. I'm not sure if you've been keeping up with the group messages. Probably not. But yeah, there's some things going on with this show behind the scenes that a lot of people are just not aware of. And it's pretty amazing to see the actual grassrootsness of this show, which, it started as just a lowly opportunity for me to be able to speak to other people, and then it turned into the ability for myself and Lavelle to have conversations, have dialogue openly and honestly about these different topics, which, again, we're from two different parties, but that doesn't mean that we see things differently. I think that it's the generic view of others when they watch TV that there's a huge disparity, but in reality, being Latino, we are raised with conservative values. Being Black, you're usually raised with conservative values. And I think that there are a lot of people in our city who are, in fact, more conservative on a lot of topics. And there's a lot of issues going on with this country that they're starting to move to a little bit more to the right to say, okay, we've kind of had our time with the left answering these questions, and we see the America we get with them being so empathic towards everyone and compassionate and making decisions based off of feelings instead of facts. And maybe it might be time to kind of swing that pendulum a little bit more to the right, which I'm okay with, because I just want what's best for America, and I want what's best for the next generation. With my boys, being 19 and about to be 16, it's like, what are we leaving them with?
Absolutely. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Shout out to all. And I do want to give a shout out to my son, Elijah, who just walked across the 6th grade stage.
Nice.
In his moving up ceremony. Everything that you said is 100% true. And you look at what we were talking about in the previous show with Peter was just, the identity politics of just what goes on today. But within just the things that align with Latinos and African Americans is, number one, their connection to their God. Spirituality is very key. And that's one of the fundamental values of being on the right side. Traditional values, being a traditionalist, is one of the foundational pillars of the Republican Party. I do remember back when Bill Clinton was running for president, they always made sure this dude was in some sort of church setting. And then just recently, I don't know if you've seen the Juneteenth celebration, where you saw Biden stand there like a freaking, and then you got the most notable gay actor of all gays standing there dancing in like this little shiny gold. Like, yo, does that really represent black people and their tradition of just faith beliefs?
Yes, Black history is gay history. That's what they told us.
No way,
They
bro.
told us that, and
We're
they're
not
showing
like
it
that,
to you. They're
man.
stuffing it down your throats the way they like it. We'll be right back. 346-3000 is the number to call in. We'd love to have a conversation with you regarding these topics. WYSL station, the politically correcting voice. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome, Hornell. Proud to be your local talk station for great conservative, all-American programming.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight, staying warm and muggy in the low 70s out there on Tuesday. Another hot, hazy, humid day with an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon. Temperatures in the low to mid 90s. The heat index nearer just over 100. And we'll do it again on Wednesday. Another very hot, humid day. Slight chance of afternoon thunder. Highs well up into the 90s. I'm Rich Cornelia, WYSL.
Heads up and head into summer in your new ride from Victor Chevrolet, the new leader for Chevy in Rochester, Canandaigua, and Fairport. Check out these great lease specials. You'll appreciate the room and zoom in your new 2024 Chevy Silverado LT Crew Cab. Just $359 a month for 36 months. Or the 2024 Chevy Equinox LT All-Wheel Drive. Only $258 a month for 36 months. Then the 2024 Chevy Trailblazer LT All-Wheel Drive. Just $189 a month for 36 months. Final allowance on all deals, $10,000 per year. $2,500 cash or trade equity plus first payment and DMV fees required at closing. Must have current lease and household and Tier 1 credit approval. Get more details at dealer. And don't forget, Victor Chevrolet also has an unbeatable pre-owned selection. Check VictorChevrolet.com for the new and used inventory, service specials, and deals on tires, plus EV specials. Whatever brand of vehicle you're driving, you can trust it to our Chevy Certified Service Department. Come see how easy it is to do business with us. Together, let's drive. Victor Chevrolet, Route 96 in Victor.
Debunking advertising from the law office of Christopher Johnson. Get a load of some of those injury attorney TV ads. The insurance company only offered me $5,000. Big injury firm got me $4 million. And the paid actors you see look like they just stepped out of a fashion magazine. The truth, it is tragic, but nobody looks like a soap opera star who's brought an injury case where the award is $4 million. Those unfortunates have injuries that are permanent and debilitating. They'll need every dollar just to have some semblance of a normal life and take care of their families, often for decades. A serious injury isn't a game show where pretty people get big prizes. If you've gotten hurt in a car or on someone's premises, forget the actor portrayals and take the first step towards getting your life and your future back. Straight talk from Christopher Johnson, attorney. Car, truck, motorcycle accidents, personal injury, and DWI defense. Call 585-415-3803. 585-415-3803.
This is Mario Prado, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Illegal aliens are invading our country, and Joe Biden is shipping them right here to New York State. They're bringing crime and drugs and making our neighborhoods unsafe. But who wants to keep them here? Claudia Tenney.
I completely support anyone that comes here as a refugee.
I don't think anybody really agrees that we want to throw anyone back just because they're here illegally.
Claudia Tenney welcomes these invaders into our country in the June 25th Republican primary. Keep our families safe and vote Claudia Tenney out. Paid for by Mario Prado for Congress.
At AirQuip, we are your home comfort specialists, and you'll be comfortable with this special offer, too. During the Train Unstoppable event, get up to $650 in instant rebates and special financing for 36 months on qualifying Train equipment. Upgrade your home's comfort with a high-efficiency system from Train. Subject to credit approval, see airquipheating.com for complete eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions.
AirQuip Heating and Air. WYSL.
WRLD. Two girl, lingerie. Rocking the world, make a big swirl, causing a swirl. WRLD. Satellites drip, tie your eyes up, drip, drop, drip, ties you switch, glaciers tip, barometer dips, cellular, solar tips, jewel lingerie, and short.
In Rihanna, Mom Reed, and Waterloo. The 20
2024 Batavia Down Summer Concert Series has been announced. Come see bands like Smash Mouth, The Bacon Brothers, 38 Special, April Wine, and country music star Clay Walker. There will also be tribute acts paying homage to Fleetwood Mac, Tom Petty, Heart, The Doors, Chicago, and Styx. It's going to be a great summer, all summer long at Batavia Downs. Get more information and tickets today at BataviaConcerts.com. That's BataviaConcerts.com.
Conducts a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
I'm Carmen Leonardo, licensed associate real estate broker with RE/MAX Realty Group. Rely on my exceptional skills.
Not sure Bill Robinson was calling, and I'm like, I thought he wanted to go on air, and he said, no, I just want to make sure you could hear me.
233-4119.
Coming back.
Politically correcting.
All right, we are back after a Father's Day weekend. Here, you're spending with two fathers, one a stepfather, one a real father. I give a good shout out to the stepdads out there.
Excuse me.
Yeah, fathers. Sorry, four fathers.
Background too, Mr. Bobby D.
Everyone in here got kids?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Eli, too.
Eli gonna have some kids.
Get it. As far as I know, Eli has outnumbered us with offspring by a wide margin.
Get it, Eli. Getting it.
He got around. Get it.
Getting it. Well, you know, unfortunately, every Juneteenth weekend ends with, you know, shootings and killings and murders. Had a weekend wave of gun violence. They say 14 shootings, 9 dead, 74 injured all around the United States. This comes on the heels of a Supreme Court decision that I kind of want to jump into, because there's a Democrat, Senator Chris Murphy, who said on Sunday, the Supreme Court is, quote, readying to fundamentally rewrite the Second Amendment after striking down a federal ban on bump stocks. Now, again, remember this. It's a Democrat saying that the Supreme Court is readying to fundamentally rewrite the Second Amendment. That's what he says. So let's get into the conversation here. He says recent gun-related rulings from the High Court. Murphy told CNN's Jake Tapper, who's obviously a beacon of non-disinformation, I'm sure, on the State of the Union, signal it is prepared to, quote, take away permanently the ability of Congress to do simple things like require people to go through a background check or move forward on taking dangerous weapons like AR-15s off the streets. So I think this court is poised to make it very hard for Congress or state legislatures to be able to regulate guns and keep our communities and schools safe. That's not rewriting the Second Amendment. That's literally taking it. Right. That's literally holding it to the letter of the law. Right.
Let's shock that he's a Democrat.
Exactly.
Look,
and I'm a Democrat.
Wait, what color is he?
No, his name is, what's his name again? Chris Murphy. I'm going to assume he's white.
He's got to be
Irish.
Yeah. Being a Latino Democrat who was in the military, being a gun owner and being someone who is well trained on how to properly use it, how to sight it, how to clean it, how to shoot it, how to aim it, how to sight it. I am always upset whenever Democrats talk about needing to take AR-15s off the streets, because the number one shooting weapon that is a semi-automatic that kills most people is a pistol. And they don't even know the difference between a semi-automatic pistol and a semi-automatic rifle. All these guns on the streets, as long as it rechambers itself, and you can just keep pressing the trigger button and it rechambers a new bullet in there, that's a semi-automatic. So this AR-15, who's walking down Clinton Avenue with an AR-15? Who's walking down Clonky with an AR-15?
Little inconvenient if you're holding up the Family Dollar. I think the AR-15.
Right. And at the same time, again, the president of the United States pretty much threatened America and said, hey, if you're thinking about doing anything against us because you don't like the way we're handling things, you're going to need to do a little bit better because we got F-15s. And I'm sitting there saying, are you trying to call us out right now? Because you're not going to tell me you're going to use freaking F-15s on American people, all right? We already know that they love using drones to kill people.
But
Obama did it.
It is
Biden
a
did
threat, though, nonetheless.
That is absolutely a threat.
Obama didn't see a funeral or wedding he didn't want to bomb.
Right. Yes. Exactly. So the fact that our government can sit there and say, oh, they're going to rewrite the Second Amendment because it's going to stop us from being able to take away your AR-15s.
Yeah.
How in the world do you support anyone who would even say that?
Yeah.
It just boggles my mind when people are like, we need to get these weapons off the streets. And I look at them and say, I own one. Mine has never, sprung legs, walked outside, and started shooting anybody. It's never happened.
That you know of, Jose.
That I know of, right. That I know of.
The Irish community should get on this guy, Mr. Murphy, because out of anybody that should be skeptical of government having power, it should be the Irish. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched Braveheart multiple times. And
the documentary.
Oh, I've watched Braveheart so many times, and the best part is at the end where before he dies, freedom! Like, that's the most notable part of Mr. Mike Wallace and his, leadership of the Irish.
Yeah, there's got to be.
Wait, was it Mike Wallace? I could be wrong with his name. I know it was Wallace was the last name. It could have been Mike. I'll go with it.
In like 20 years.
But it's just crazy how freedom of speech, that's going to be taken up by anti-Semitism. So we got that problem there.
You can't say Christ is king.
You can't say that. And now it's like First Amendment. That's first. Let's distract people that way. And now this guy over here saying, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna just rewrite the Second Amendment by not allowing us to regulate it."
John, you're right.
Can I just point out that anybody who makes a comment like that has no clue? You can't just rewrite the Second Amendment. Like it's a parking regulation. I mean, there's a little matter of 3/4 of the states, then 2/3 of the states.
And on top of that, the judicial branch does not write laws.
No,
they don't write laws. The Democrats are pushing for there being basically one branch of government. That's all they keep talking about. Yeah. Oh, the Supreme Court needs to be dismantled. They need to be disbanded. They need to be held accountable. This, that, and the other. I'm like,
well, they could pack it.
They could. That's something that they were talking about. Just right the last year of Trump, right, or first year of Biden. They were talking about.
Yeah, they're always talking about it, and they also want to do away with the Senate. All these crazy ideas.
Just do it.
Get rid of all of them.
Real quick, Striker 1B corrected me. It was actually William Wallace, and he was Scottish. I thought Irish and Scottish are the same thing. But
oh no,
I guess they're
not racist.
How racist am I, right?
Racist. I just know the difference.
Uneducated I am.
I know the difference between Scotch.
We're gonna have some haggis thrown right through the window.
Irish whiskey.
When they say no comments on this show is definitely representative to WYSL. So thank you, Striker One, for correcting me. But this guy right here, Mr. Murphy, should be shipped out of the United States for his anger.
How do you
for the Supreme Court?
You pledge to uphold the Constitution of the United States, and the Second Amendment literally says shall not be infringed. And they're going to sit there and pretend like our forefathers just came back from a hunting trip, or just came back from skeet shooting. That's not what happened. They just came back from a freaking tyrannical government, and they overthrew it. And they said we want to make sure that we can do that in the future. And we literally just had a president say, "You don't have what you need in order to overthrow us. We got F-15s. Fine, then." I should have an F-15. If I'm rich enough to have an F-15, I should be able to have one.
I agree. I tell people all the time, man, the folks back in the day were way smarter than us today. They were way smarter.
Well, the foresight was better. Because everything we do nowadays...
the foresight, but the knowledge itself, because it's like, it was at its purest. Everything that we want to be.
They didn't have the web to make them stupid.
Oh, you're right about that.
Yeah, we have way more access to information now, and we're dumber.
Yeah. And it's easier for them to kind of suppress it too and keep it away. So the disinformation problem, right? You were talking about it before. Okay, we need to find some way. There's got to be this little, way to regulate it. Keep books in the libraries. No, you did say there has to be some way with disinformation. Well, you got to keep books. Got to keep stuff on paperback. To be the ability to kind of find information within some sort of place or position has to happen, because if we just rely on the internets to inform us and keep us
I don't know. Educated, right? That's like kind of like this book burning in an instant because you can block a whole bunch of information with a snap of a finger.
Yeah, that's why they put all the gay sex in the kids' school books.
Gosh, Bill Gates liked that stuff.
I bet he did. You nasty freak. We'll be back after this. 346-3000 is the number to call here at the WISL station. We are the politically correcting voice of Val Lewis and myself, the Jose Pio. Will be right back after this.
To live the quality of life we deserve in truth and freedom, informed by our Constitution, our laws, and traditions, we need to pick the best leaders possible. Recent experience certainly illustrates that. Free and accurate elections are essential if we're going to restore our society and safeguard our rights. New York Citizens Audit is a volunteer, nonpartisan group which has been lobbying for open source audits of the State Board of Elections and reform of the electoral process statewide. Did you know Citizens Audit has uncovered over 1 million felony violations of election law? That in 2020, there were 625,000 more voter registrations than existing voting age citizens in just 6 New York counties, that there were 338,000 more votes cast than voters who voted. These are just a few shocking examples of the urgent need for reform. You can help. Visit auditny.com and learn the facts, how to volunteer, and make a difference in your community. Again, volunteer, donate, or spread the word. Start at auditny.com. That's auditny.com.
I'm Greece Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Joe Robach. If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful
We have the mic.
in Greece Regional Chamber. We are the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we are better together, and together we can move your business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, my name is Greg Sadwick, and along with my son Zach, Flower City Collision. We've been advertisers on WISL, the voice of liberty, for the last couple of years. So I want to thank the listeners of WISL for their patronage, which has allowed us to grow and reinvest in the latest technologies to ensure that your vehicles are repaired to the most current standards, whether conventional or EV. If you're in a collision, reach out to Zach at Flower City Collision in Henrietta, and he'll work with your national insurance company on your local behalf to ensure that your repair gets done right.
Politically correcting.
Yeah. That's right. We are building an army of PCP addicts. Politically correcting podcast. Actually, we're changing it to the show, so PCS. Either way, Lavelle Lewis, myself, the Jose Pio. Of course, we got Dr. Bob and Bobby D on the ones and twos back here. We have a caller, the Mike. How you doing, brother?
Hey, gentlemen. Hey, you forgot to mention all the stabbies in the city of Rochester. They're just not shooting each other. They're now they're now playing knife fighting.
That's big in England too. Like there's a guy who went on a stabbing spree over there.
Yeah. Well, that was my first point. So it's just not guns. They're just using anything. Also, too, I had heard on the scanner that somebody was chasing somebody else around with a machete lately. So
they had to be
but I haven't
West
seen
Indian.
that on the news.
West Indian.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, yeah. You gotta have a blade to cut the sugar cane.
Yeah, and just a reminder, during COVID, it was a guy who was running around naked, bashing windows in, who was, picked up by police and unfortunately ended up dying due to, they say, the police knee being on the back, but it was actually probably an overdose.
Are you talking about, is that Daniel Prue?
Yes, that's Daniel.
Oh, he was breaking windows?
Yeah, he was
I didn't know
windows.
that.
Mike, thank you so much for calling. Sorry, we just cut into that conversation there.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was running around naked, busting through windows.
Yeah.
And then when the cops came, he was spitting on him.
Yeah, saying he had AIDS and COVID.
Yep.
I mean,
We got some crazies in Rochester. He's not even from Rochester. That's what really irks me.
From Chicago.
That dude wasn't even from Rochester.
Yeah.
His family kicked him out of Chicago and said, go to your other family in Rochester. And their family, when he got here, they kicked him out too.
But then they could not wait to go do that press conference.
Oh, real quick.
Well, you know what happened. A civil rights attorney contacted them. Hey, I think you guys got a case. So I would love to represent you. Like, you could really win potentially a couple $1 million for a lawsuit.
What's your thoughts on that guy who was yanked out of that police car when they bashed his window in?
I think, first of all, I have two sides to that, right? It is definitely the police officer's responsibility to make sure that they get home safe every day, right? However, I'm big on reading the room. Okay, you wouldn't do it to an elderly woman or a woman, period, a female, period, if she wasn't comprehending or just, asking you questions in return, right? In this situation, though, I do think, given the fact that he was like on Reynolds Street or something like that, right? That's where he was.
Yeah, he was in the hood.
Yeah, he was in the hood. I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time that you guys seen this man drive within that area. So they may have had some foreknowledge of just the type of things that he's into. These cops are not pulling up on these people for the first time in these communities. They're not. They're just not. They know these people. They know a lot of folks who are in this guy's situation. He has a rap sheet.
I was told through, the people who sent me the information that he was a beacon of, standard good men leadership in the city. And I said, well, I don't know this guy from anybody. All I know is, my stepfather, who was a police officer and retired RPD officer, a black retired RPD officer, he told me how to handle getting pulled over. He said the last thing a police officer wants to do is write a ticket. They don't want the paperwork. They don't want to deal with it. So give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to let you go. Mm-hmm. All right, just automatically start with that assumption. They're going to let you go unless you do something stupid. So as soon as you get pulled over, roll down all your windows, take out your license registration, have it at the ready, and then put your hand on the steering wheel. And when they ask you, hey, do you know why I'm pulling over? Don't act crazy, don't act stupid, don't freaking sit there and say, oh, because I'm Puerto Rican, or I'm black, blah, blah. No. Just say, no, I'm sorry, officer, was I doing something wrong? And he said, just understand that you're dealing with a human being and talk to that police officer as such. They're not there to arrest you. They're not there to write a ticket. They're there to uphold the law.
But they want to make sure. Judge and jury, though.
They're not the judge and jury. Absolutely not. But when you have a guy that when he gets pulled over after multiple issues.
Yeah, but don't bust my window out, bro.
Yeah, but they told him to roll down
That's
the back
okay.
window.
That's true. You're right.
The windows were very heavily tinted, and the officer couldn't see in the vehicle.
Both officers couldn't see, and they say, "Hey, can you roll down your back window because we have no idea what's back there. We don't know if we're in danger." And he said, "Why? Why?" And he's like, "Just roll down your back window. We're trying to make sure that we're safe." And he just kept back talking, and then rolled up his own window. And to me, in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, bust that window."
Yeah, well, then again, you're gonna have the court of law to deal with as an officer.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, again, you have to be smart, because if you want to win, you busting out that window does not make you look good as an officer, because there's nothing within the Constitution that gives them that right. There's nothing within it to even pull you over. Within just your right to travel amongst this United States of America.
I'm pretty sure you're reading that incorrectly.
I'm not reading it incorrectly because
you don't have a right to drive.
Because you do.
You don't have a right to drive.
You do have a right to travel.
Right.
And how will you travel? That is within your right.
Nope.
It is within your right.
No.
Now, within just their protocols, okay,
Mm-hmm.
overstepping that boundary. I'm speaking on just the case part. When you go into the court of law, within a judge, he's going to have to look at everything. He's going to look at what evidence do you have to where it gives you the right to use excessive force to get to the solution that you want. You want to, again, write a ticket because what did he do? He didn't yield us something or he didn't make
his inspection was over.
No, that's when they come up. What was
no. His inspection was up. That's why they were going behind him. They were doing it, checking out the license.
What was the cause?
And then when he ended up taking a left without putting on his turn signal, they said, all right, I'm just going to pull him over anyways.
What's the probable cause, right? Because just from a cop that's in a car and they see that you don't have a seatbelt on, you have to have supreme freaking vision to see that, right? Like there's so many things that sets the police up to where if they make the wrong decision, they could still lose in court because there wasn't any probable cause.
Right, but if your inspection is up, that means your registration is usually up as well.
How do they know that?
They saw the sticker.
Right.
Not so hard to see the sticker.
No. They knew that based off of whatever they said. Well, we thought it's.
That's why they were originally tailing him because of the inspection.
Right. So
if your inspection is up,
like more of like a parking violation.
That's more of a get your car towed type of situation, or get your windows bashed in my opinion. But I'm of the. It's amazing how we're on two different views on this one, but it does make sense because I agree with you that reading the room. If he was in, let's say, Pittsford, and it was a white woman, let's call her Sandra, let's call her last name Dorley. If she were to have also inspection was up and she kept going again, he didn't stop when he was getting pulled over either. He kept on going, and then when you get pulled over, you roll up your window and say, "I'm not doing anything you tell me to do." In my opinion, it's like, dude, your back window is completely blacked out and they can't see what the hell's going on back there. Like, give the cops some slack there. And I understand you think that there's a right to travel. Absolutely, there's a right to travel. There's not a right to drive. They can take away that right that you think exists.
The
anytime
state,
they want.
yes, the state can. The state can do that.
Which means it's not a right.
But again, just within our rights as citizens and our rights to move about within the United States of America, our law enforcement, they find ways to play judge and jury on the spot. And it never looks good for the police department because no matter how this plays out, the overall majority that's looking at this, they're going to automatically assume that was over excessive use of force, and it never looks good for the police department. Never.
To me, being in the city of Rochester and having to deal with the same freaking people all day, every day. When I say the same people, I mean lawbreakers, the same jerks that get away with everything because you can't do anything about it nowadays. Remember, this is the same crowd that would say, "Oh, he tackled that guy who was on his ATV a little bit too hard. He should have the right to travel the way he wants on his ATV." That's what you can sit there and say on that end as well. But no, I would agree that the police officer had every right to tackle that guy off his ATV because he didn't have that right. This guy had an inspection sticker. Now, if we want to talk about how we should get rid of inspections, I'm with that. I'm totally behind that. We should get rid of inspections. I'm tired of getting my 2024 vehicle inspected, multiple times in the first 5 years. That's stupid to me. Yeah. It's a brand new vehicle.
It's just another way of government regulations on the citizens. And let's say he busts down, he breaks the window, and there's like this toy gun in the back seat, right? And there's somebody on, and then all of a sudden their natural reaction is to shoot because they feel their life is threatened. And then when all the information comes out, this wasn't a real gun. It was whoa, I didn't know, I didn't see. It was a dark tinted window. It's all these things that can happen to where it puts the police department on defense and it makes them weaker as a unit, because I do think there needs to be some form of better training within it comes to how we interact within just certain types of situations. This stop itself is one that needs to be kind of re-examined.
I feel like you're turning into a Democrat.
Absolutely not.
Because I would have busted them tires out too.
See, there you go. Yeah.
That is our show for today. Thank you for joining us.
That is more Democrat, though. Excessive force is Democratic.
That is, because slave owners. Back to the plantation.
Back to the plantation.
Thank you for joining us on another Politically Correcting show. I will be gone on Wednesday, but LaBelle will certainly be holding this down with Dr. Bob and Bobby D. And we'll see you back here Wednesday, 1 p.m. at the WYSL station. Time try to fade, no speed, something
savings and off-road fun. Shop the all-new Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram 6484 Route 96 in Victor. Try these deals. Lease a 2024 Jeep Compass Limited 4x4, only $219 a month for 27 months with $2,500 down. Stephens Loyalty. A 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo X 4x4 is just $339 a month for 24 months. $3,500 down must be Conquest SE. The 2024 Jeep Wrangler Willis 4XE convertible is just $339 a month for 36 months. $500 down with lease loyalty. Choose from 6 in stock 24 Ram Tradesman Crew Cab pickups up to 15% off. All lease deals require first payment, DMV taxes and fees to each site. 7,500 miles per year. Other conditions may apply. See dealer for details. We welcome Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and Finger Lakes. The selection and deals are great. It's the most beautiful new vehicle sales and service dealership in the area. Victor, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, now at 6484 Route 96, just east of Victor.
27,000 watts.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The U.S. Surgeon General wants warning labels on social media platforms. Correspondent Greg Clugston with that report.
In a New York Times opinion piece, Dr. Vivek Murthy